Walking around the conference today, there's people from all over the world, many, many nations indeed, farmers, scientists, doctors, all sorts of people. But one person we found is Fred Yoder from the United States, from Ohio. Welcome to South Africa for a start.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
What brings a farmer to this country for a conference?
Well, one of the things that we've been working on back in the United States is trying to adapt to a changing climate. And one of the things that interested me, which I'll be speaking to tomorrow, is we have to work together. We can't just do, well, one country can't just do their work and then the others not do it. So if we all get on the same page and work together, we can truly make a difference.
Do you think we're all on the same page at the moment, or do you think that's a little bit of pipe talk?
Well, I think it's a little bit of pipe talk because there's a big difference between the way that the thinking of a developing nation and a developed nation thinks. And let's face it, we all are responsible for climate change, and we're all responsible for doing something about it. So let's quit arguing about what causes it, and let's work together and actually make a difference.
Do you think one of the problems of governments, as individuals, we want to make a difference, but governments somehow, because of red tape, bureaucracy or whatever, slow the issue down?
Absolutely. You know, I'm always for common sense. I've been a grain farmer for 40 years, and one of the things that make us more profitable is just common sense suggestions on how to make us more profitable and how to make us more efficient. We need to do the same way with our governments. We need to talk not past each other, but to each other, and align ourselves to getting common goals accomplished rather than just talk and at a conference and go back and doing things like normal.
If I asked you to equate a similar situation to South Africa or the African continent, where America's concerned, drought, tornadoes and so on, how synergist do you think that is between us?
Oh my, I know of the different issues in South Africa for drought. You know, fresh water is a big concern even in the United States as well. We have got to do a better job of using fresh water and managing it and be more efficient and conserve it. I know this is a big concern for South Africa as well as the United States, so let's figure out ways that we can grow the right crops and do it in the right way to save as much fresh water as we possibly can.
Now, I understand you're going to be one of the speakers today.
Yes, I just found out I will be speaking this afternoon. Basically, one of the reasons I'm here is a group called Solutions from the Land. We feel very strongly that a lot of our solutions that will take, whether it's climate change or whether it's just global efficiencies in agriculture, it comes from the land. That look at the land as a solution rather than a problem or a direct problem that comes from that.
Have you any direct contact solutions for the land with Africa at the moment, or is this your first contact?
This is actually our first contract with South Africa. That's why I'm so anxious to be here and get some new networking opportunities with South Africa, because South Africa's got an enormous potential for agriculture, and we think that we should be working more closely together with South Africa with our infrastructure as well.
Well, there are many that feel that we should be the feeding garden of most of sub-Saharan Africa because of the climate situation, and we have a better climate than some other parts of the African continent. And I think you've got a similar situation in America where certain parts of America are just becoming unfarmable.
Well, exactly. What we're really talking about is common sense. Let's grow crops where they make sense to grow, and grow the right kind of crops, and use the water more efficient, and let's grow some more drought-tolerant crops in some of those areas that are very prone to drought.
One thing that is very interesting, many people hear of the Amish, which is a religious faction it's the Midwest mostly, isn't it, in America?
Pretty much, and on the eastern, northeast too.
And the reason I'm bringing that subject up is that they are prolific farmers, but they farm in such a way they don't use modern technology. How long can they last without modern technology?
Well, interestingly, my father grew up Amish, and he left when he was of adult age, and I fully believe that modern technology is part of our solutions. But the Amish, they still farm in those ways that there's some ways that they're going to have to change, because they're very much into tillage, they're very much into rotating with heavy amounts of manure. So we're working with the Amish back in the United States to make sure that they don't do environmental harm. And yes, in this world we can figure out ways in common sense ways to go ahead and coexist just fine with old ways, but maybe look at a new, different perspective.
There was a sneaky reason I brought that question in, because we have farmers here who only know the old ways, don't have the capital to buy this equipment that's needed, and they're farming in the old ways. Now, you're saying that could be damaging.
it could be very damaging for, we're looking for long-term sustainability. And what you have to do, when I bought the farm from my father, the only thing he asked me to do was leave it in better shape than when I got it. And I can't farm the way that he farmed when he grew up in order to make it more sustainable for my son to come on the farm. So we have to change our ways. In the same way, the Amish are going to have to look at different things too. The great thing about today's technology is you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have a more sustainable agriculture and more efficient and more environmentally friendly, and you can also be more profitable. So new technologies let us do both.
Most of the Amish farms are quite small by American concept. And a lot of small farming is part of the government's exercise in this country. But you and I both know that bigger farms are becoming more profitable because of the capital intensification and expenditure that goes on. So how are those Amish farmers, and I'm equating them to the small farmer in this country, going to survive under those terms?
Well, interestingly, there's a good movement back in the United States working with the technology providers and even equipment manufacturers. There's an outfit called Great Plains that actually manufacture a no-till drill that is pulled by 6 horses. And some of that technology is getting in. They're finding out that if they leave that stover on top, that they can save some of those nutrients and save some of the soil. So slowly we're integrating new technology. We're still pulling it with horses, but it's new technology to save soil and water.
Fred, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.